Hey guys, Nuan here with Movie Slinger Reviews. Now today is the day my review and spoiler discussion for Avengers Endgame was supposed to come out. I was going to meet with a bunch of people to geek out about this movie, but none of us have managed to watch it yet. That's because the movie theaters in Sri Lanka decided to delay the release date of the movie because of the prevailing security situation in the country. You may have heard of the deadly terrorist attacks that happened on Easter weekend, which claimed hundreds of lives. So the country is still in a state of mourning, people are still afraid to go out. So we decided, even if we do watch Avengers Endgame this weekend, let's wait on the review. And since you guys will be stuck at home these days, I thought maybe it's a good idea to talk about some movies that you can watch from the safety and comfort of your home, starting with this one. So if you guys want me to review more movies like this, please let me know in the comment section. And for those of you who did manage to watch Endgame, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm happy for you guys, but please do not fucking spoil this movie for us, okay? Don't be a dick. Thank you. Now let's get started with the review. Cargo is directed by Ben Howling and Yolanda Ramke, and it's the story of a father, Andy, played by Martin Freeman, who's trying to find a new home for his baby daughter. Why is he looking for a new home in the middle of the Australian Outback? Well, maybe because the world is overrun by zombies. So Andy's journey is fraught with danger as he encounters other groups of people trying to survive in the Outback, some good, some bad, and all paranoid. When the movie starts, there is no voiceover, there's no narration, no paragraph of text telling the audience how the outbreak happened. The very first zombie attack happens off screen, and we only hear characters talking about it afterwards. We also see emergency instruction packets, which were probably issued by the government to stop the spread of the outbreak. So we kind of have to piece together what's happening by paying attention to the dialogue or objects the characters are interacting with. And it works because it's so well written and it's shot and edited to perfection. These emergency packets also include a lethal injection shot to kill yourself, and a timer because when you get infected, you have about 48 hours until you turn. The infection process is painful, but it's slow enough that it gives the filmmakers ample time to really ramp up the tension. There are multiple characters that get bitten in this movie, and every time it happens, it feels significant. It feels like another obstacle for Andy and his daughter to overcome. And speaking of Andy, this is Martin Freeman's best performance ever. He did a great job to capture that sense of desperation and pain of somebody who has lost everyone near and dear to him. And now the only person left is his baby daughter. So he is willing to do anything to make sure she's safe. And sometimes that means turning his back on people and not helping someone in need. For example, Andy meets this guy who's using humans as bait to hunt zombies. So that should give you some idea about the kinds of people he runs into. And in this scene, Andy doesn't do anything against this guy because he's afraid to act. And I liked how Andy is just your average Joe. He's not a hero, he doesn't even know how to fire a gun, and that made him instantly relatable. One of the characters he meets is Thumi, played by Simone Landers. She is an aboriginal teenage girl. The girl's father is a zombie and he's still walking around. It's very heartbreaking to see her still trying to interact with her father. But later on, she joins Andy and they develop a very endearing relationship. It actually reminded me a lot of Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us. Thumi's people have figured out how to outsmart the zombies, and she teaches a few tricks to Andy. Their use of traditional face paint, for example, really comes in handy. I love how the filmmakers integrated the native Australians into the plot. We don't normally get a lot of movies about them, so seeing their culture and their language made this story very refreshing. It was really cool how their way of life and their beliefs have actually helped them to survive, while the civilized modern world has quickly descended into chaos. The Australian Outback may be an unforgiving environment, but it's also gorgeous to behold. There are some truly spectacular looking locations captured beautifully by the cinematographer. And again, just like the indigenous Australians, this is not a landscape we normally see in movies. It's something fresh and exciting. The movie has some scary moments and they are set up really well. The very first zombie encounter is a great example. Andy is filling the petrol tank of this car. The lady inside the car sees a zombie walking towards them from the other side, but she can't make any noise, so she puts on the signal lights of the car. Andy sees this and it's a quick dash to get back in before the zombie reaches the vehicle. This whole scene takes place without any loud noises. There's no jump scares in this movie. Think about that. A modern horror movie with zero jump scares. These directors are good at creating white-knuckle, suspense-fueled sequences, and they do it with clever editing and setup. There's one scene where Andy and Thumi are locked in a cage and there's zombies outside. It was an intense and thrilling escape sequence. There's also a scene where they enter a tunnel, which reminded me a lot of Stephen King's The Gunslinger from the Dark Tower series. Conclusion: Simon Landers is really good and Martin Freeman gives the performance of his career. This is not an action film and the pacing is slow, but it's good that the filmmakers took their time to show the toll it takes on someone going through this journey. There are some intense, scary moments, and while the movie doesn't bother to explain the history and origin of the zombies, it gives enough information to understand what's happening in the present. The directors are really confident that we are smart enough to figure things out. I also liked how they used the natural landscape of the Australian Outback and its indigenous people. These elements made the tired old genre of zombie movies feel fresh again. There's a lot of rich potential here and I wish more filmmakers would make use of it. I'm gonna give Cargo a 9 out of 10. It's available on Netflix right now so you can watch it from home. So there you go. Have you watched Cargo and what did you think about it? Please let me know if there's any other smaller films like Cargo you can recommend for me to review. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. Movie Slinger out.